Hi, yeah, so my name is Joanna. I'm a student at UMass. I'm here to talk specifically more about the Real Food Challenge, and kind of by telling our story, hopefully I can touch upon some of our successes, some of our challenges throughout the experience, because it's been a great one. Me personally, I started off with the Real Food Challenge as an intern, and my role kind of expanded when I started working as a sustainability coordinator with auxiliary services, and it kind of grew from there. So it's a little bit of a background. The Real Food Challenge is a nationwide campaign that focuses on bringing more nourishing foods to college campuses. The terms real and nourishing are kind of these broad terms indicating food that improves all stages of the food economy from producers to consumers. So at UMass, we have been determining the percentage of real food we are already sourcing by going through dining service invoices and inputting the data of what we were purchasing into the campaign's calculator. The campaign's calculator has 4 different categories, those being ecologically sound, humanely raised, fair trade, and local. To be considered real food, that food item just has to fit into one of those categories. So the challenge first came to UMass when, after doing research for a class, a member of the Student Food Advocates saw the potential for it to kind of grow and flourish at the UMass campus. Because UMass, as we've already heard, is incredibly progressive in ideas of sustainability, with plenty of initiatives, academic programs, and cutting-edge ideas and food system reform already growing. So the Real Food Challenge, we saw it kind of as a way to make a statement and a dedication to ideals that were already becoming a huge part of campus life. But still, it wasn't an instantaneous process, and it took a lot of legwork to get it to where it is today. The goal of the commitment is to get the chancellor to sign on to 20% real food by the year 2020. We began that process by engaging in dialogue with faculty and staff who may already have interest in these kind of ideas, and people who may be able to open the doors to conversations with other decision makers who may help us come into agreement that this commitment and this challenge was beneficial for the campus. So it was last year about when we started these dialogues with groups like FAIR and EPAC, which are student and faculty groups on campus dedicated to environmental reform. Also started working with dining services, because if you're trying to reform the dining services, you want to work with them. So what we kind of saw was that the scope of the idea of real food is incredibly vast and encompasses a lot of different ideas. So there were some points of confusion considering what exactly real food was and what it meant. For example, while local is a huge part of real food, especially in this area, it's not all it's about. It's about sourcing things that we can't grow locally, like chocolate or like coffee, to be more sustainable or more ecologically sound, or fair trade. So we had to get to the level where we had to learn how to address these concerns on a one-to-one, face-to-face level. And as long as we had the opportunity to meet individually with these decision makers to address their concerns, we always were able to reach an understanding and to overcome that challenge. So yeah, there was also another challenge, meaning to source more real food to a campus of UMass's size. There were tons of invoices to go through, even to get a baseline percentage of what our real food already was. So there was obviously a need to have more people involved and more hands actually working on the calculator and getting this percentage figured out. And so the solution to that was the development of an internship. The internship was a 2-credit internship for students who were interested in helping out. We got people from all different backgrounds, a lot of food science majors, sustainable food and farming majors, even like anthropology majors. People were just interested in getting involved and learning more about the campaign. So while the campaign, or the internship, did kind of start off just as calculator work and data entry and going through invoices, it very quickly morphed into something else. We had to learn kind of just be flexible and just let it go with its natural flow and just go along for the ride. Because with all of these students coming from so many different backgrounds, they were all so interested in learning more about the food system, what we were actually looking at, and what it actually meant. So once we started delving into modern food systems and what the information we were actually looking at meant, the students, the interns were so incredibly excited, and they wanted to start spreading the word. They wanted to start just doing more outreach about what our mission was. So we did that through like tabling and event planning, just a lot of student outreach, and because of that, we're able to reach a huge percentage of the student body. Our main event this semester, which I'm incredibly proud of, was the Banana Splits to Commit event, which is this picture you see there of all of us very excitedly holding signs up. This event was designed to educate people about what the Real Food Challenge was, what each of the 4 categories I went over meant, and why they're important to a sustainable food system. We ended up getting about 250 people coming through that day, and it was a lot of fun. So, but through this event, we saw a lot of interns take interest in leadership roles where they flourished, and they'll actually continue the internship next semester, which is really exciting. That means we're going to keep up the same momentum, keep working with the calculator, keep working on its percentage, and keep working on how to source our food more sustainably. And all of our hard work was not for nothing, because as of this past semester, the chancellor actually signed on to the commitment, making UMass the largest university on the East Coast to sign on, which is really exciting. So yeah, we're hoping that kind of creates a ripple effect in the Pioneer Valley and beyond. Because of the school of UMass's size, if we can pull this off and we can make this commitment happen, then it's encouragement for other schools to do the same. And this could potentially shift millions of dollars away from unsustainable food systems into more sustainable food systems. And obviously UMass is already well on its way of doing that. So it's great that we can continue this momentum and make this a commitment. So yeah, and one last thing as well is at the Real Food Challenge, there's no real structure of how it's supposed to be run, and UMass was the first university to kind of do it in this internship structure. And we're being pursued by other universities to kind of set up a similar structure, because it's been incredibly successful. And we're definitely incredibly thankful and incredibly lucky that UMass Dining has been so transparent and so supportive and so helpful. It's definitely been a huge part of what has made this whole campaign possible. So yeah.
Thank you, Joanna. I'm really impressed with the ways that momentum that Joanna spoke about really comes from this team effort and all these different players working together.